What's up, Turkish Crew? It's Team Destined here, bringing to you another video. This time around, it's going to be basically a video summarizing my experience from this past weekend, which was Bandai Card Fest in Dallas, Texas. I just want to preface by saying, that I felt like, at least from my end, for my opinion, as a Digimon competitor in nationals, I had a solid experience tournament wise. There are a few negatives that had happened there, as far as the tournament goes. But as Bandai Card Fest as a whole, I would definitely say that this was probably like the most whack experience out of all the Bandai Card Fests. And I've been to every single one. I've been to every single nationals. And this was hands down one of the one of the worst experiences. I hate to say it. I hate being a negative Nancy, but I feel like a lot of crazy things happened this weekend. That's just like, is this real life? I don't know. So I'm just gonna go ahead and stop talking and get to like the juicy details here. All right. So I've called in my buddy, friend of the channel. One would say almost co-host of these videos, Mr. Saqib Hussein. Because my memory is a little foggy and I'm jet lagged and I don't remember anything. I have him as backup here so that he can we can have a good discussion. Saqib, what did you think about, like, how was your experience? Would you say overall good or bad?
I've done more than you for the weekend, so I can, because as you know, I went early for both days, so I'd say this experience is actually a lot worse
Yeah, yeah.
than most of every event I've been to. So I say the experience going to the Car Fest was terrible, but the weekend overall with friends was great.
Yeah, yeah, and I kind of mentioned that before. Like, I had overall my experience with Bandai Card Fest was a good one. Like, I don't regret going, but that's because of the people. Like, I love meeting everyone that I met. Shout out to like Joshua, David, Hien, aka V Passion. Like, everyone that I saw and met there, Brel, Digishon, everyone was amazing. Huang, Risu, like, that was all you guys. Shout out to everybody there. You guys really make the experience, and that's why I love the Digimon community. But the Bandai Card Fest itself was kind of whack. I kind of laid an outline here with Saqib to kind of talk about the how our experience from day to day. So we're gonna start talking about Saturday. Oh, you know what? One thing I didn't mention in here when we were kind of collaborating was like the whole deck list issue that we were talking about, because people
Oh yeah,
on the
I,
way.
I, I think on Saturday, of course. So
Yeah.
we could right in tournament structure specifically.
Wait, sorry. What'd you say?
We could discuss that in tournament structure.
Okay, sure. Okay, so I guess the first day that we were actually there was Saturday, which we got to the line at like 6 to 6:30. Well, I don't quite remember.
There a bit earlier than the rest of the crew, just because I didn't want to eat breakfast at that
Yes.
time.
Yeah, we were trying to get McDonald's. So you were ready to stand in line because you knew it was gonna be terrible. So Saqib went ahead and we went to go get Mickey D's. The rest of the guys went to go get Mickey D's. And then we
Yeah,
finally got to the line, which is where the first like issue it was kind of whack in my opinion. Which the line was not only obviously super long, starting at like still literally like 5 a.m., but it
one of
stretched. One of
one of
them.
them.
One of them. There were
Yeah,
multiple lines. There was like 3 lines total. It was like really whack in terms of like where to actually go if you're like let's say a competitor, general entry. There was no guidance. No one was out there talking to us or guiding us, which is it's kind of normal. It's not nothing new. But the thing is that the lines were in the cemetery.
one of the ones were on the cemetery,
On the
which is very disrespectful towards their families. And
Yeah, which I mean is interesting because I didn't even realize that there were like graves there until someone pointed it out, and I was like, "Oh my God, there's literally like a headstone." Which I don't know if that's like an actually where people are buried, or why they would set up the K Bailey like a convention center with like also like tombstones. But that I thought that was mind blowing because someone pointed that out. I was like, "Damn, that's crazy, bro."
I watched the video can probably explain more why there's a cemetery on K Bailey more than us, because
Yeah.
we don't know anything as much about like a cemetery being right in front of a convention center.
Yeah. But so yeah, the line was long, and that was super super whack. And then when the doors were open, people I couldn't believe what I was watching because you know like those Pokemon videos where like people are like
Scalpers.
yeah the scalpers are like in line. It's like these like grown ass men that are like fighting each other for Pokemon product for like the ETBs and all that stuff. I was like, damn, that's kind of cringe. And then I watched that like happen in person where like people were like shoving each other and like running in. And I was like, bro, this is
Is
crazy.
actually a bit more unfortunate circumstances because three people got hospitalized from Saturday from trampoline.
What? Are you serious, bro? We never talked about that. What are you talking about?
Three
Is that
people
confirmed?
got hospitalized from trampling on Saturday. Yes.
No way. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
What?
people got hospitalized from injuries due to those doors opening at
Where
8 a.m.
did you where did you hear that?
This was talked about by judges and staff, and then they spoke to other people about it.
That's crazy. That's
So
insane.
I
Wow.
heard those informations. But the reasons why the doors opened at 8 a.m. and let people in, of course, we knew about that. So we of course then we all run in. We're all running into the venue.
Yeah, that
Uh,
was ridiculous.
Running right in front of the gates, to the point where security had to start yelling at us to calm down. And nobody, of course, was listening because everybody's trying to get product as fast as possible.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I definitely wasn't running. I was like just in awe of the situation because everyone was like running and shoving each other. I was like, this is fucking crazy. Was this Black Friday in a Target or something? But it was insane. And then on top of that, so like people were like running in, and we still had to wait in line outside because the doors to get into the actual convention were not even open still. So we were in a line to get into a line and wait like another like was it like 30 45 minutes for that line to open. And that line
Yes.
itself was also dysfunction because it wasn't even a line. It was like a giant blob basically.
Yeah.
And it was wrapping from like two different sides, so it wasn't a functional line whatsoever.
So from what I've heard from more people, of course, from there, so all three of those lines opened in separate times, which is why the running started.
uh-huh.
Because the longest line was at the end of the doors opened up one, two, three. The second door, the cemetery that was made off of some random people, was the one that opened first. And everybody was super angry about the fact that that door opened before theirs. So they start running towards that first door, pushing people and punching people aside to get in.
Yes, yeah, that's what I was talking. Dude, because like I think where the line that where we were at, those doors
Open
happen to open first, and then I just see the people from the other line literally like sprinting across the fucking cemetery to get to our line. I was like, bro, this is ridiculous. What is happening? And then on top of
Yes.
that, we couldn't even go in anyway because the doors were locked. And then it was competitors only first, right? It was competitor entry first. But I think
People
like
hid
a
their
lot of
general
general.
badges.
I'm sorry, what?
People hid their general badges to walk in early.
Yeah, it's like I think general entry, like a lot of general entry people like got in anyway, and I was like, that's crazy because we're competitors, we should be able to get in first. But that's another thing. It's like general entry and competitors should definitely be separated, and because it's kind of like BS. It's okay. Well, generally entry like kind of gets scuffed, but it's like also competitors get scuffed too, right? Because we're competing during like the store hours, so really competitors should absolutely get, in my opinion, competitors should get first dibs. We're here to compete,
Yeah,
but
but that's where the other issue comes up. But before we head up to that other issue, I
uh
will state that the reason the second so the reason why the halls open, the inside where Bandai Car Fest is being held, were open at 8 a.m. because initially on the schedule it was said it was to open at 8:30 for everybody.
Okay,
As you,
yeah, 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 that's
the
right.
reason yeah, they open at 8 a.m. is due to the fact that so many people were already inside the building trying to get into the hall. There became fire marshal issues with fire safety for the entire convention center because of how many
Right.
people were inside that one section at once.
Right. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's
Safety
what
became a big hazard.
yeah, no, that was absolutely a hazard. That was ridiculous.
Yeah,
I wonder like how they could have fixed that. Maybe it was just like if they just did like one general long line, that probably would have been better, maybe, but there were so many people that it would just been I feel like it's so hard to or like maybe like have everyone just all three doors open at the same time that way there's not like a mad dash or something like that. I don't know.
even then, there were multiple points of entry towards the convention center, not just those doors. There were multiple. There's entry points through the parking deck. There are entry points through the sky to a sky bridge that was connecting a hotel towards the convention center that was not blocked out, and it was open earlier than the actual doors to the convention center.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
so
people
they
were able to
definitely like
watch.
have to do if they do it there again because this is like the second event, right? Second event at the K Bailey. They really need to like figure that shit out because that was ridiculous.
Yeah, but
Um,
then let's go and discuss about the store issues now because
yeah,
now
so
there's
so they let everybody in, okay? So everyone comes in. I'm like, "Oh, cool. I'm ready to get my product. I'm ready to like sign in." In past Bandai events, the Bandai Card Fest events, they'd have QR codes and they decided to do that again this year. You basically scan a QR code and then sign up for on the QR code and put in like your information and you have a reserved time slot. So we get to the store, which the QR code you scan there, and it's like no available times. I'm like, what the fuck? I was
how
like, what is happening? We're the first ones in. How is there no available times already? That made no sense to me.
so apparently, from what people have said, multiple people in multiple reports have said there were three judges that sold the QR code before the halls opened
Right,
towards people
right.
towards before time. So around 7:10 to 7:15, they sold the QR code to people so they can already register their time slots in. So by the time people walked into the venue, those time slots are gone towards non-general entry like competitors and general entry people.
Yeah, yeah. Granted, this is hearsay, right? This can never be like confirmed or denied, but I feel like that's it's why would that come around? You know what I mean?
I do know for certain that the QR code was leaked early because I have seen pictures of those shown around 7:05 to 7:10.
Right. Yeah. So that I mean that was crazy because we were the first ones there, and the QR code like no available times whatsoever. I was like, damn, that's insane. Um.
I got into the store line at that point, of course. I mean, I was lucky enough to get in at 9 o'clock
Mhm,
time.
mhm, mhm.
Walking into the line already, they already sold out of the event exclusive products that mostly everybody was looking for already by that time, which were
Which was what products?
there was the Gundam product specifically that people were mainly eyeing for. All of the Gundam products actually sold out immediately as soon as 9 o'clock hit, which is only an hour into the store, mind you.
Yeah. So that really doesn't make much sense. Um. I guess it makes sense in the fact that like I guess everyone's trying to buy the Gundam product,
Yeah, but then at the
but
same time, like they did not stock enough apparently because I got into a middle slot and they already sold out of it.
which was kind of wild because remember the last Bandai Card Fest? I think some product has sold out, but I think was it like the sleeves or was it I don't remember. But then they
It was
restocked
the
or
One Piece
something.
binder. It was the One Piece binder, which was the One Piece 6 cards, and that sold out the fastest out of all the products
Yeah, but
instantly.
then even then they like didn't they like I don't remember. Did they restock it?
They restocked it for Sunday, but no, they did not restock it for the rest of the weekend because it immediately sold out for the rest of the weekend. But then, of course, for the second card fest, they restocked it. They put it on P Bandai for resale
Yes,
again,
yes.
also, so that became readily available, and no everybody had a chance to grab it.
Yeah, so that's okay. Like, I guess anger aside for people who had been there and like wanted product and didn't get any, I think it's fair to assume that they're probably gonna release like all the product on Premium Bandai. I hope they do. They really should. I know it's like Nat's exclusive, but like this was
It was very unfair for most people not.
this was terrible. I mean, it's the fact this is the first time that I've gone to Bandai Card Fest and I wasn't able to buy a single product, not one, not one. And that's for several
I
reasons, which is another issue like that I have with these types of tournaments, which is that like competitors, how the hell are competitors supposed to buy their product? Like we're competing. There's no way we're gonna have time to get in a line for an hour, an hour and a half, however long it takes to buy product. There's just no way. And so it's like, okay, we have to go to day two, and by then everything's sold out. Which you were saying stuff was sold out at like 9 a.m. already, which is insane.
So the thing also is that at that same time, scalpers already got into the venue
That's yeah,
to
that's
those lines to the
yeah.
store, and then they already bought out everything.
Yeah, so that's
The
what I'm saying.
other,
I'm like, I feel like to fix that for competitors should be able to like buy at least on Friday. At least on
yes,
Friday.
I do agree. I
They
do
should
agree.
open up the store on Friday so that way when people are coming in, because Friday decklist submissions are due anyway at 8 p.m. right? So decklist submissions due, which was another issue because that was kind of like confusing. I mean that got sorted out pretty quickly, but we were like, what the heck? Because on the Bandai app it said that it was due like Thursday, which was whack. Uh, a lot of conflicting things too. Like on the Tixar email, it was saying like January 2nd, which made no sense. Obviously, that'd be way past the event date, but that got cleared up pretty quickly. But yeah, so it's like deck lists are due at 8 p.m. So it's like all of the competitors have to be there at 8 anyway. Why not open the store so that the competitors can buy then? That way, it's not such a clusterfuck at the start.
And then also they're only allowed to go in after they receive their badge immediately.
Exactly,
So
which is another thing that I really like. I really need to say it's like, why don't they should really link each like store management, like one per like Bandai account or like one per badge, because badges are tough to get. You know what I mean? Like you have to go through a lot of hassle to get a badge, and it's like not like maybe like the most intense scalpers will like really like bat for a badge, but like that getting like multiples of badges, that's like really tough. If the product sheet, because you know how it's like before they have a sheet and you can only limit yourself to one. If it's like linked, they can link it somehow to like your Bandai account, your Bandai TCG, then that would at least guarantee that every single competitor, every single like even general entry gets at least one. You know what I mean?
So like that issue came up on Friday with a lot of people where the lines for general entry became like hour long, 2 hour long just to grab a general entry badge, which is also $30 to enter, mind you. So like
Yeah.
you're still paying $30 to enter for general entry, but that line took 1 to 2 to 3 hours, and people who lost in the LCQ, their only way that they are allowed to grab a badge is for them to drop from the event or play out all 9 rounds of the event. And even after they drop or play all 9 rounds, they'll be stuck in a line for 1 to 2 additional hours just to try to grab a badge after they play multiple rounds of card games just to try to grab a
Yeah,
competitor
that's
badge
crazy.
instead.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, that's super insane. But like that proves my point. It's like it's tough to get a badge. You know what I mean? So it's like just link it with the account. I don't know. I'm trying to like
Yeah, so
brainstorm on like how to like stop the scalpers and like to guarantee product, and like that's really the only way I can think of, like linking it to an account. Granted, you can make like multiple accounts, get multiple badges if you really finesse the system, I guess, but like it's definitely better than how we have it now.
only way you can get a competitor badge is a top a regional, of course. So at that point, people are going to start selling their accounts towards these scalpers so they can show that.
Yeah. I mean, like that makes sense, but like no, like if would a competitor like I know me as a competitor, I would never like screw that. I'm not here as a competitor. I guess if you don't go, sure, but like, would you risk your account info with a scout? You know what I mean? Like that's such a tough call. Like I don't see anybody like giving an account stuff to a scalper for that. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's like a lot of like issues that a lot of companies and a lot of stores have is like trying to solve the scalper issues, which they're trying very hard. But of course, it's very hard to have because they're still shoppers at the end of the day, and they want to guarantee products to every single person, and
right.
they must also be the scalper in part of that.
Right, exactly. Well, and then another thing that they could do is just like the way that they did it in Nats before, where you can your Bandai, what was it, like your P Bandai account? You could it was like what you buy like the sleeves, and then you just go
You
pick
bought
it up.
you pre-ordered the product, the
You
pre-Bandai,
pre-order
and
you
then
pre-order the product, you already buy it, and you just go up to a line, show them the receipt, and then they scan you off, and then you walk away. You get the product and you walk away. Like why is that system like not there? You know what I mean?
that was the best system. That was two nationals with open format, aka there's 2,000 peoples for One Piece.
Exactly.
And then
Yeah.
there's the 1,000 people for Digimon. And then, of course, you have 125 people are Battle Spirits. We didn't talk about that. But in total, we have 3.2K worth of people that just had easy access to the P Bandai, the product that was exclusive to Nationals, just because they were able to order it on P Bandai. And that's around the same amount of people, not including the general entry people, which
Right.
probably totaled to an additional 2,000, 3,000 people, which made up to the same size of Bandai Card Fest this time. And they used that Bandai system, and everybody was happy because they all got the
Yeah,
product at
everyone
once.
got product. Like everyone got their sleeves that they wanted. Everyone got the mat, the Dex Doragora mat. Like everyone got it. If they wanted it, they got it. You know what I mean? Unless they missed the pre-order window, which that's like on you. You know what I mean? But like that has nothing to do with like scalping and like all that
Yeah,
bullshit. And then they
it's
even
all
released it later too. They released all that stuff later as well. Which again, I know they're
yeah,
probably gonna do that here after like this whole shit show. But like it's crazy that like people are like buying the scalp product for like fucking like 10 times worth, and it's like you're feeding into the scalping, and it's ridiculous. Just wait, first off,
some of
don't.
the products.
Huh?
Yeah, yeah. eBay listings like for some of the product, like don't buy scalp product. That's what you're. I mean, that's what you're saying. I do know that. Don't ever buy scalp product. You're just funding into these people doing it ever. I
Yeah,
see eBay listings for these products. They bought them for 43. They sold them for $750 to $1,000, and people are
insane.
buying them because they want the product immediately. And
It's
then I
crazy.
told these people, some of these people, I know they bought the scalp product. I've told them when I hand mano a mano. I told them this is literally coming to P Bandai soon. You don't need to spend additional money just to grab it early. When we had multiple experiences before with exclusive nationals product coming onto P Bandai for a second wave.
Right, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, when people want the product, people want the product, and they got the money to blow. They're just like, whatever, I don't care. Which, I mean, you know, to each their own, but it's like that's kind of crazy, in my opinion.
But
um
going
so
off of that, yeah.
no, anything else about the retail that like I guess you want to talk about before we move on from that?
From day one specifically, there are people hounding at you on sidelines, asking for the specific product if you want to buy them or not. And they're because they didn't get in line, and it's like, I'll pay you an additional amount of money for this. I'll pay you $50, $70 just so that you could buy that product for them, so they can scalp it for even higher money.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an Asian night market where they start hounding you for and
Yeah.
I'm
I
very
mean, like,
scared.
gone are the days where you're just like, hey, I'll get that product for you if you want to get this product for me.
Yeah, that's what people in the line
Jeez.
were doing,
Jeez, bro.
which I was very happy for. But
Yeah.
people outside the line, they really were desperate to grab anything they needed.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I agree with all those points, which that's a little like me too, but you know what? Like, I mean, you're in the line, like, it's a fair transaction trade. It's not scalping. So, like, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so aside from the retail issues, let's talk about like the tournament itself. So we competed in the Digimon Nationals tournament. I had a relatively good. I had a pretty good experience. You know, in my opinion, I feel like the judges were like did a solid job. You know, shout out to head judge, and everyone else that was there. I think they always like you do a good job in terms of like judging and like running the tournament smoothly. It wasn't anything compared to like that. What was it like? Was it the LA Nats where we got fucking 2 hour delayed? That was stupid.
Yeah, LA Nationals where we were supposed to start at 8:30, and instead we started at 10:30. We started at 10:30, which of course nothing can compare to One Piece Nationals that same year when they were supposed to start at 8:30. Instead, they started at 1:30,
Oh my
and
god,
then
yeah, that was horrible. And I think that okay, I
they,
don't know if that was necessarily like a TO issue. I think that was like the software issue because they were using like God, what was that called? Do you remember what it was?
they
It
were
was the
using
pirate. It was the
our
pirate. That pirate one. What was it called?
I don't remember, but
Oh,
it was
BCP,
actually
Best Co pairings. Was it? It was Best Co
yeah,
pairings.
yeah, they were using Best Coast pairing, but it was also a TO issue because they kept on pushing that same app for multiple hours to the point where One Piece ended their day one at midnight when
Yeah, that was crazy.
they got
That
forced
was that. Sorry, what?
they couldn't even finish their full 12 rounds because they got kicked out of the tournament. They got
Yeah,
kicked
that
out of the
was.
venue by police officers.
Yeah, that was insane. So nothing like that happened for at least the Digimon Nationals. Okay, so the Digimon Nationals, in my opinion, ran smoothly. There was some negatives though that people had pointed out, which I didn't notice until like the end. Okay, so which I mean I kind of noticed, but I just brushed it off. Number one was like the bathrooms were closed off next to the tournament stage, next to the tournament play area. So the only open bathrooms were across. You had to exit the play area and go like basically on the other side of the building, Which if you're like, let's say go to time and you need to freaking like you need to use it, you better sprint to the bathroom because there's none nearby. Which was totally different from how it was last year. Because last time when the Bandai Card Fest was at K Bailey, if I remember correctly, they opened the bathrooms next to the competition zone, right? Am I tripping on that or?
It was open.
Yeah, so I don't know why they would lock the bathrooms and force you to go across the building. But that was super whack. Which the bathrooms were an issue itself because the lines were long, and the bathrooms were not well maintained. Like they were stinky as hell, especially in like the side event area, like the day two side event bathroom. I was like, dude, this reeks. And as soon as I start walking close to the bathroom, I'm not, and I have really bad sense of smell, but like I could smell it horribly. And then even the employees that were like out there, like just hanging around by the bathrooms, they were literally talking amongst themselves, and they were like, they should have shut this bathroom down. Like I heard the employees say that because it was like that bad. Like the stalls were backed up, and like there was like one urinal that was just like completely overloaded. I was like, this is disgusting. Like
who lives in this situation?
Yeah, and I was like, okay, so like they couldn't like close it off for like 30 minutes and fix the issue. Like why is that urinal still like nasty as hell? I don't know. So that was just another like small issue. But as far as like competition goes, like that's what I love about Digimon and coming to these in-person tournaments is sitting down across from everyone that I meet, becoming friends, making friends, meeting everybody, and just having a great time, like laughing. Like at least those are my, I'm always having a good time with my opponents, and just conversing with everyone and seeing people who I've seen before. That's always like such a great time. So is that how you felt too?
Yeah, I felt I didn't converse as much with more people than I wish I could, just because of how tired I was from this morning of doing all that stuff. But I did make, of course, we always make more friends when we go to nationals, meeting new people, always talk to more people. I made more friends that time, of course. I always do. Like you're gonna play new people, you're always gonna befriend more people, and then you're gonna talk more with them. It's just gonna be like that.
Yeah, so just some positivity out there. Shout out to the Digimon community. You guys are fucking awesome. I think our community is the best, one of the best in terms of like just friendliness out there. So from our tournament side, everything was fine, and then oh boy, one of the juicy ones, the Gundam scandal, the Gundam collusion scandal, which I didn't hear about this until like towards the end of the round, but apparently.
At the end of the rounds. That's why.
Yeah. So the Gundam collusion scandal. It's exactly what it sounds like. So I guess Saki, if you want to talk about it.
Sure. So Gundam was a 10-round tournament, and then they went to round 9. Round 9, there's one undefeated and one X1. So they initially started playing, and then the undefeated and the X1 are playing. So this is about table 1 specifically table 1. Not any other table, but table 1. The person who has one loss speaks to the undefeated, and he says, I want to go ahead and end this tournament early. I want to go ahead and end it. Can you go ahead and forfeit the tournament, forfeit the round for me, so that we can go ahead, both be X1, we both guarantee our spots to top 32 for day 2, and we just don't do anything. Of course, they're speaking this in a normal volume, which in Bandai card games you're not allowed to collude. Collusion is a bannable offense that can happen.
I always thought you could like forfeit. Can't you just like forfeit and say like I'm done?
You can forfeit off your own accord. You cannot forfeit based off your opponents giving you the option to forfeit.
Oh, okay.
That's what collusion is. It was your opponent saying, "Can you please do this?" But then, of course, the undefeated was hesitant at first. He was like, I'm not sure. And then the X1 gave the stupidest response in a normal speaking voice, and he said, "I'll pay you for it. I'll pay you to lose."
Idiot. Because basically the like, and the to add extra like enticement, right? So not only would he you know, like offer money, but apparently if the undefeated player lost, then the tournament would end, I guess. Again, I'm not familiar with how Gundam works, but I guess that's kind of like the extra cherry on top for the undefeated player. And I guess the undefeated player had accepted the offer, and of course that conversation got leaked. Either a judge overheard it, the people around overheard it, but that got leaked. Both players, the undefeated player and the X1 guy that offered the deal, they got banned and from like all Bandai games, and they got kicked out of the tournament. They got disqualified.
They got around 6 months to a year due to that offense.
Oh, it's not even like a lifetime ban. It's just like a.
It's not going to be a lifetime ban
I
because
guess that's not
it's
too
not
bad, but like I'm like, damn, that sucks. But like
But
also
yeah,
you're crazy for doing that. Like what are you thinking? You're undefeated, bro. Just keep going. What are you doing? Like
it's 6 months to a year on the first ever regionals of a new card game. The first ever regionals in North America for a new card game, and you
right.
just get yourself banned from it.
Yeah,
But
that
after
was
playing 8 rounds, being undefeated, or losing one game, and then you just say the most stupidest thing in the world, and then you just get yourself unhooked of playing any of those games up to a local level also because when you're banned from Bandai games, you're also banned from applying to local tournaments.
yeah, from on the app and stuff, right? So
Yeah,
yeah, so that was hands down like the juiciest part of the day. So that was it for day one. For day two,
before we end day one, we need to talk about the side events of day one.
oh yes.
Yes.
Yep. Okay, so side events. Okay, so for those that like didn't make it into the actual tournament, which by the way, there was a lot of people participating in LCQ. There was I think like it was a 9 round tournament, so at least over 300 players, right? So um there were side events that were supposed to be firing basically the whole day on Saturday, but there were I guess issues. I don't know what was going on. Now this I can't really speak too much on, but I get they were extremely late on firing side events to the point where there was only like maybe like 1 or 2 side events firing for that whole day, right? If I'm correct on that.
The people who applied for only an 11 a.m. side event got a notification of playing at 5 p.m.
Yeah, yep. So that is like ridiculous. Which I guess we can kind of like go into the next day with that, but yeah. So people who weren't competing didn't have much to do, I guess, except for going to the store, which the store was already kind of scuffed depending on which product you wanted.
Moving on to day one to day two, there's an in between where people got arrested.
Yes. So day two started again, a massive freaking line everywhere since early morning because people are still trying to get product. I guess I don't really know what's going on there, but police had to come and and arrest people for getting into a fight. That's right, TCG card game players throwing hands for cardboard. What's new? But I can't believe I can't believe that was actually happening with our Bandai games because we've never seen stuff like that before. I thought that was just like some Pokemon shit, but
Oh no. Yeah.
so
Police,
yeah, you can talk about it. Go ahead.
yeah, I usually hear more of the details from other card games because they get more of the details and from some of the judges. The police intervened in 3 issues. There was 2 people in the morning, like in the middle of the midnight up to like around 6 a.m., who were sleeping in the bathrooms, hiding from security and staff, so they can get into the venue early to go ahead and grab product immediately. So 2 people were arrested for that, and then there's one person sleeping near one of the areas inside the convention for sleeping out in an area they're not supposed to. They were detained.
Oh yeah, someone was sleeping in the bathrooms. What is wrong with people?
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
they got arrested for that, of course, because they're not supposed to do that. They're trespassing. There's
Ridiculous.
trespassing charges. And
Insane.
then I saw this one firsthand because I was in the 7:30 rush trying to grab product because I just wanted some product for myself. I didn't even want to scalp it. I just wanted it.
Right.
Uh, People started fighting each other just because they wanted to be first in line and shoving people. To the point where police had to go ahead detain one woman for attempting to fight a guy, and then police had to go ahead and clear out the entirety of the floor, send us all downstairs, and then delay the opening of the hall for 2 additional hours.
Yeah. Yep. So everyone got screwed because of that fight.
Yeah.
Some girl just had to go and fight and throw hands, which I think is the funniest thing. But yeah, that is crazy. You wouldn't expect police to arrive for early morning like that. That's ridiculous. But people are serious about their product, I guess. Um, so that happened. People getting arrested early on, for either from trespassing or getting into fist fights. And then, so aside from the retail stuff, which again everything was basically like all the Digimon stuff had. I think there was still some Digimon stuff, right? But then it sold out like very early on that morning, right? Am I wrong on
Yeah.
that?
Yes, but I was on the first line of general competitors entering. Storylines were sold out. There were issues with storylines in addition to that, just because Union Arena competitors, Dragon Ball Fusion World competitors, and One Piece Pirate League competitors, were the people who were allowed to go in before anybody else to go
Uh,
ahead and in line. They switched up the system on day one to day two because the QR code got leaked. So they don't know who leaked it, and they were trying to figure that out. So they did not want to try QR code. They gave a physical check-in system towards everybody for day two for Bandai Card Fest for store. The issue then became was that they were giving out tickets for two different sets of people: competitors and general entry. General competitors got tickets, but then competitors were no longer allowed to get tickets as soon as the doors opened for every competitor, which means mostly every competitor for One Piece, Gundam, and Digimon were not allowed to get product.
yeah, yeah, and that's how I was unable to get any product. I didn't get to get a single thing. I never went into storyline. Because day one I was competing all day long. Day two that happened, so that was insanely scuffed. I was very upset about that.
And
At least I have my Nats 2 invite, but I guess we'll see how they manage that. So,
yeah,
um, but then
and general entry got their tickets, and then people started hiding their badges, and they start taking badges from other people just so they can get a just to get a ticket slot for the
yeah,
line.
yeah. I mean, hey, if you know the people, I guess finesse or whatever. But and then so aside from those retail issues happening again, for Digimon at least, there was only 3 side events, which was so scuffed. Oh my god, because there are two 10. So here, okay. So here's the thing: there are two 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Events, right? And then there was a 1 p.m. So two 10 a.m. 1 p.m. All of them were lottery draws, but then the 10 a.m. got delayed to like basically like noon because of I would assume the fight, right?
Yeah,
Um, but people were apparently getting charged double for their side events. So like, and it's $30 to enter the side events. Okay, so people were getting charged like $60 when they really only should have been charged for one. Um, so yeah, that was obviously another issue there. And then what else? What else can I talk about
they
here?
couldn't get refunds. They couldn't get refunds for those. Also, they asked for refunds, and they said there was no refunds allowed to be given.
Yeah, yeah, which is super odd, and they're gonna have to go through like their credit card companies. Hopefully they can get reimbursed for like all that shit. But apparently Play TCG has had an issue with fraud, which I didn't know about. But I
Yeah,
guess
currently they're in a fraud investigation right now.
yeah. So I don't know what's going on with them, but it's crazy. Um, which I guess there were like there were also like videos of like I guess them like calling out product and stuff. I don't know what they were doing with that, but that could have been
Supposedly,
anything. You know what I mean? But it seemed a little sus.
yeah, supposedly staff was walking to like somebody's car with bags worth of supposedly event exclusive merchandise.
Yeah, which I don't know if they're just loading up that or what, but I don't know. It's a little sus, but
Yeah.
what else? So day two was basically completely pointless. We had just gone there in hopes of getting to side events. Oh, and then there's a 3v3, but that was like not well advertised. There were no links for that anywhere. There was I guess it was on Tixar, but you just like had to know about it, and the registration had ended the day before. So if you got there the day of, you couldn't even register, which I'm like, dang, that's kind of dumb. But so yeah, so I guess technically, if you want to be technical about it, there are 4 events. There's 3 1v1s and then what a 3v3. Um, but aside from that, there was nothing to do. There was a demo setup for Gundam, which was like great, but like again, that was kind of bad because unlike UA, which they'd had a demo setup for UA, you would get like a demo deck, but for Gundam, they didn't give out demo decks, which I guess whatever, it's free, so you can't really complain about that. But that would have been like a nice little touch. And then there was like nothing else to do around the area. There were like no cool exhibits. They did like their card displays, which they do every year. And then there were like the freaking overpriced. Oh my god, the overpriced vendors there. You like freaking like $12 for a Chick-fil-A sandwich, like $6 for a black coffee. Insane. I think I paid like $5 for a water, which I'm like, damn, that's like some like crazy price hike. But I guess you could bring water bottles in, but like still.
Even in the Digimon card exhibits, they only had paper versions of some cards that usually they never do have paper versions of some cards on the exhibits, which we're like, why do you not have like the full card exhibit of every card if you have that for every other game but Digimon?
Right, yeah. So yeah, basically sum it up, the day 2 experience was completely pointless.
Yeah,
because there's no product, nothing to do, no tournaments. Well, if you got lucky enough to get into the side tournaments, which that was lottery, and there's so many people trying to get into them. There were like 32-man pods, right? Or was it 64? I don't remember.
32-man pods.
There were 32-man pods, but there's like thousands of Digimon players there. Like there's just that's ridiculous. So we
wasting $20 parking. Yeah.
Yeah, we were basically just like playing friendlies until we had to leave.
Yeah.
So that was a huge bummer. The one positive of that was like, oh, and then the scavenger hunt, which again, I know that's like a free thing that you can do, but like they offered less. Like you could get less from the scavenger hunt than previous times. Like at least like the previous times you could get like multiple different little things, but like I think you were only limited to getting one item for the whole thing, which I mean, I get it, but that's what happens when I guess you have so many players, all these card games together. There's such limited product, which is kind of a bummer. But I guess that's just like where we are now with Bandai Card Fest.
Yeah. No, day 2, complete waste of time. I literally
Yeah, and it's a damn shame too, because like a lot of people, not just like from people from my group, but I was like overhearing other people. It's just like there's no incentive to like with this type of experience that a lot of people have had. It's deterring a lot of people from wanting to go to Vegas because it's like if you don't get your invite. But what the benefit is like if you go to Vegas and like Bandai Card Fest is a shit show, you can just go hang out in Vegas. You're at Vegas, so like that's cool. I guess that's the only thing. But like if Bandai Card Fest was like in any other like random city, I feel like a lot of people would be like, yeah, no, I'm just not going anymore because it was. I feel like a lot of people had terrible experience like across the board from every community. So. Yeah, basically. Is there anything I'm missing that you could talk about? Because I feel like we've hit a lot of the high points.
Apparently on Twitter there was multiple instances in the morning of day 2 where Bandai was communicating about the severity of the situation that was happening outside of the convention center, stating that we're deeply concerned about the situation happening around the venue. We cannot allow people go into the venue. We're delaying entry due to police activity being conducted in the area due to an incident that happened inside the venue space area. They had to report multiple instances of talking about events spaces. There were people who were trying to file complaints about the issues, and then the issues being pushed aside. These videos popped up. The people were talking about the judges that leaked the info. There's multiple things that people have discovered from speaking to other people, or supposedly, of course,
Mm-hmm.
you're all based off of secondhand mouth.
Yeah,
But a bit of hearsay. But there was multiple things. Multiple people got arrested. People fighting, fist fighting.
yeah.
We're trying to have a fun time at Bandai Card Fest. You're ruining it by just trying to make a quick buck out of other people's like happiness.
Yeah. It's pretty lame that with this experience, low key I blame Gundam. Low key I blame Gundam. because those playmats selling for like hundreds of dollars was fucking stupid. But anyways, and people actually buying them is like the dumbest thing ever. But anyways, that's all that I can think of. This video has gone on for about 45 minutes, but that was basically a tell-all series about the Bandai Card Fest Dallas 2025 experience. Hopefully Vegas is not as much of a shit show. If it is, at least we have Vegas to hang out. But yeah, that's basically it.
Hey guys, before he sums you off, if you of course have any more complaints you want to say, of course don't fight in the comments down below if you want to fight. Just be as courteous as possible. We're in a social space with everybody. Be nice to each other. That's what we're trying to do. Yeah.
Yeah, be
But
nice to each other. If you want to leave a review on the event, freaking they left out a survey. Please let them have it. That was crazy. I don't know how Bandai is gonna like move forward from here, but they absolutely need to handle the scalping issue. And I hope to God they fix the side events, because that was just ridiculous. I hope they start doing side events on Friday, because they did that for LA, that first in-person Nats in LA, and that was amazing. Like they were doing that was the best Nats, one of the best Nats in my opinion, because side events were firing on Friday all day. I literally won like 3 boxes of BT11 from the side events. Saturday it happened. That went smoothly. They had like freaking Kenji Watanabe coming in. They had like little they had the whole exhibit. That was so cool. Like that was such a fun time. Sunday side events all day. Like that was such a great time. They need to go back to like that whatever they were doing back then. Whatever they were doing back then, they need to keep it going, because this was not a great experience for like anybody all around. But except for the people. Again, I love the people. Ending on a positive note, Digimon community, love you guys. Always love meeting everybody and having a great time. You guys really make playing Digimon something special. So, but Bandai tournament organizers freaking do better.
Yeah.
And with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and stop talking and end the video. Thanks so much for your time, Sakib. Any last things, or are you good?
We just want structure. We just want to be a better community for every card game.
Yeah.
I play Gundam right now, and I was disappointed about the showings of that community over the weekend. This is the first regional, and it was a very unfortunate. It was very I was very disappointed about how people were acting throughout the weekend about that.
Yeah. So to end, just be good to each other, be kind. We're all human beings trying to have fun with some card games we love. But with that being said, hope everybody had a good day. Thanks for watching this video. Let me know what you guys think about the whole situation in the comments below. With that, I'm signing off. Peace out.